Oh, there's a problem. The pastor just called, and then he couldn't get a hold of me, so he drove over, and he said that my cows are out, and they're all back behind his parsonage there at the road. And so I run outside, and I look, and all of my bulls are right where they should be. Chucky Poo is in his place, and all of the cows here are where they should be as well. It's not my cows, it's the neighbors. All right, so this is actually good news, because if anyone watched today's earlier noon video, I could not find the neighbor's cows. So come to find out, the neighbor's cows must be the ones who are out behind the pastor's house. I'm going to drive over there right now on the side-by-side and try to herd them back this way. And if they do come back this way, they may in fact come right into my yard. And what I don't want is them to go right down the driveway. So you guys come with me, and we're going to drive over. We'll go through this gate right over here and gather up. We're going to go gather up some cows. Oh, and she's fine. Don't worry about her. I'm going to attempt to run these cows back up and get them to a safe pasture. I will drive down as far as I need to where I can find them. There they are. All right, I see them over here. All right, we're going to drive over here across this pasture and run the neighbor's cows back up. Guys, I don't know where they got out at, but I'll tell you the danger of where they're at now is that these cows and calves are right on the highway. And I got to be real careful how I do this as to not spook them. Now, if I could have them go right up my drive, that would be easy. We could run them into somewhere, then eventually get them back into their pasture. But these are in fact the neighbor's cows and the neighbor's calves. I need you guys to walk back up okay, so they understand what I want from them. We don't have to run. I'm not gonna run you, just walk on back up. Guys, isn't this beautiful? I love my pastor's place. All right, let's see if we can get these cows somewhere where they're safe. Don't go to the woods. See, that's what I was afraid of. If they go into these woods, you may not get them back out. I can't drive through there, babies. See, I can't drive through the thick woods. Now, the good thing is it's probably too cold for any snakes to be out and about, so we're not worried about that. I do not have anything as far as a weapon besides this here spanky stick, which will be fine. Interesting story. is that yesterday, which was my Monday, a video that you all will see today, which is Tuesday, I couldn't find these cows. I was worried about them because those calves were alone. There they go. I got to push them back into that open pasture. What I got to do. See, they feel like coming to the woods is where they're safest. And it's true. I can't bring my side-by-side over here. But I have to follow them out of here and try to push them back up. You say push, it's just an expression. You don't literally push, but you call it pushing cattle. You got to push them. You push cattle. All right, at this point, they have gone through the woods and they are back over to where the tree line ends, and they're back onto the actual pasture. I'll walk back to my side-by-side and we'll go ahead and circle around and see if I can keep pushing them back to where they belong, okay? So guys, the property that we're on right now is the property that we would and have actually talked about potentially buying one day. Problem is, the guy who owns it doesn't have a clear title. And if there's not a clear title, my niece-in-law, Stephanie, who does real estate, says sometimes it means it might be tied up in a loan, or it might be tied up in something. Because you can have the deed, but not have the title. And so when I talked to him a while back about would love to potentially buy this property, if he'd be willing to sell it, that was the issue. There wasn't a clear title, and that could be an issue. All right, we're trying to work them back. This property needs to be cleaned up good. 25 acres, and there's a pond right here in front of me. Now, it may be dried up. No, there's water in there. I see water. There's actually water in their pond, which is pretty cool to have pond with water, even though it's been as dry as it's been. And then I'll also tell you that everything from the pond up is nice and dry. Everything from the pond south will flood. So you could never build anything over on this side. If you ever wanted to build, it'd have to be up on the north side of your pond. But it would be great land for grazing, because obviously in grazing pasture, all of your livestock, cattle, horses, goats, pigs, whatever, always move to higher ground as water rises. It would require some fencing, obviously. You guys hold on, it's going to get a little bit rough maybe. But we're going to try to work these cows back where they belong. You're not in trouble, sweetie. I'm not mad at y'all. So they found some way out, is what they've done. You got to be careful here. You don't run over a stump or do anything to tear up your equipment. Man, the closer they get to my fence, though, the more my bulls are going to go bananas. When my bulls smell ladies, and when I mean my bulls are going to go bananas. Guys, here's a stump coming up, a very large one. I'm over it. I'm over it. I think I'm over it. You don't want to tear your machinery up doing stuff like this. All right, so me and Sweet Tina went ahead and just stopped the video right there for I guess just for liability purposes. So we went to get the cows off of Mr. Raymond's property so as they could not go onto the highway. Now, note, Mr. Raymond is a very nice guy. We like Mr. Raymond. He's a friend of ours, though we've never met. He's also friends with the pastor whose home we were back behind. The pastor, Pastor Curtis.
Hey, anytime. Hey, man, and what you see is what you're getting me so live. See the beautiful lady. And y'all, Sunday from 11 o'clock sharp.
Who came and let me know the cows were out. So just make sure you know who's who here. So Pastor Curtis lives in the peach-colored home there at the highway. That's the church parsonage. He's the pastor of the local church. Mr. Raymond has 25 acres that we would love to have. Beautiful property right there behind the pastor's home. We have access to that property from a fence that's down, and that's where the cows were at. Miss Sharon has 5 acres right behind the JL Motel. She's the one who's mad at me because I refused to give her a right-of-way onto her property, and in fact she's now landlocked off. And then Mr. Alfred is the neighbor who owns the horses and the cows and who we don't see a whole lot of. So just so you know who's who with all of this, okay? And I'll also say this: it's really hard to get cows back onto Mr. Alfred's property when they've gotten off, if in fact he has my fences all locked up and even built additional fencing in front. So that's why I stopped the video. If I have to cut wire, I don't want anyone taking a snippet showing me trespassing. What I did show is me being neighborly, driving down at the pastor's request to get the cows off of the highway and returning those cows to a safe place until I can get them back to where they rightfully belong. Okay, isn't it just wonderful having to try to figure everything out? Thank y'all so much for watching. We love you. We're very blessed to have you. Tina did a wonderful job in helping corral wild cows. She's just wonderful in every way. All right, we love you so much. We'll catch you guys on the next video. And I'm happy to have answered that mystery from last night of what happened to the babies' mamas. The babies and mamas are all back together again, and everything is fine, okay? All right, friends, thank you for watching, and thank you for loving Tina.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.